Live at Studio 110.live. We had a little, it's live radio, live podcast. It's going to happen. We're going to have technical issues coming up. It does. It definitely does. I'm sorry we needed to bring your mic up a little bit there. So we talked about Seahawks today. We talked about the Sonics. We talked about just you being, a well-renowned, well-respected Aaron Levine, Q13 Sports Main TV news sports anchor. Shout out to my buddy David Rose, too. My buddy David, there you're on. You're on the squad with David Rose, and hopefully David will have an opportunity to come down here. We won't talk sports with.
No, you'll catch all the bad guys with David Rose.
Yes,
Washington's Most Wanted. Give that a plug for sure.
There you go. Well, Washington's Most Wanted with David Rose, doing a great job with that. What else? I think the last thing that I really wanted to kind of wrap up today with Aaron was just with kind of bringing back Ichiro with the Mariners. That was definitely a good business decision.
Well, business decision because you're going to get more butts in the seat for sure. Because a lot of fans are they like to reminisce about the good old days. Then again, the Mariners haven't made the playoffs since 2001. They have the longest playoff-less active streak in all of professional sports. We're not just talking about baseball right now.
17 years, yeah.
Yeah, well, since the Buffalo Bills made the playoffs in the NFL, they were the second longest. Now they are the longest. And for whatever reason, I mean, this team, the city deserves a winner when it comes to the Mariners. And unfortunately, I was in Vegas over the weekend, and the Mariners are 50-1 long shots to win the World Series. And unfortunately, when you're in the third year of a regime change, when you're bringing in a new general manager like Jerry Dipoto, it's kind of disappointing to see the Mariners being that much of a long shot. Now, I think if you compare their roster right now to where they were last year, it's pretty comparable, 1-9. In fact, they might even have more offensive potential. But the starting pitching, you don't have much depth in the starting pitching rotation right now. Felix Hernandez, unfortunately, I'd like to see him have a great year. But last year he showed that he's not the Felix Hernandez of 5-6 years ago, unfortunately. And lastly, you're competing with the Houston Astros, who last year this time were 12-1 to win the World Series, and they went on to win the World Series. Now they're favorites at around 6-1. If you can't get past the Astros to win your division, then you have a much more difficult time to win a world championship as a wild card team. And plus, they lost the sweepstakes for Ohtani. Ohtani going to another divisional rival in the LA Angels. So the Mariners right now probably projected to be third in the AL West. I hope that's not the case.
I hope so too. Yeah.
Hope springs eternal every March and April, but we'll keep our fingers crossed and see what happens.
There you go. And I hope you can become a regular, fixed guest here as a fixture on the big show here at Studio 110.live, Aaron. It'd be great to have you come in and give us, we can talk updates on, sports decisions going on here in the Northwest and even your thoughts on a national platform. So you definitely have a warm welcome here at Studio 110.live.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for coming in anytime you want to come in. Any shout outs that you want to give to anyone listening out there? I mean, I'm sure it's in the thousands, but you could give your top your top 20 or whatever you want to do.
I'll give my top two. I'll give my wife and my son, of course. My wife Shayna and my son Caden.
There you go.
Just turned 15 months. So
happy birthday to your son. Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm sure do they stay up late enough? Are they watching the proud
no,
pops?
I think he's asleep by 7 or 8 o'clock every single night. So.
But the wife is probably watching, right?
Not really.
No. Okay.
No, I mean, ever since Caden was born.
Yeah,
can't have
that's
the TV.
A good excuse.
Well,
though.
Listen, we're cramped up in an apartment in Belltown, so
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming in, and I'm all about being punctual. It's 2 o'clock. I know you got to get prepared for your big TV show tonight. I've never done this before, Erica. Erica is my wonderful producer and assistant. I've never taken a picture while being live. So maybe Aaron can Aaron can come over here as I continue to talk because I don't like dead air.
We making history here?
Yeah, I think we are. So maybe Aaron can sit here in my chair, my producer's chair here, and we can get a picture live on the air, and so we can still get this on social networking this afternoon and evening, so everybody can see my buddy Aaron Levine. Let me know when we're good here, Erica. Right. Here we go. We're taking a picture now, live at Studio 110.live with my buddy Aaron Levine, who hopefully will come back in again, and maybe Aaron and I can do some co-hosting. Maybe we could do some co-hosting, Aaron, at some future events.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So thank you very much thanks for coming in, and we'll be talking to you soon. There's too much to talk about. Too many sports fanatic fans out here in the Pacific Northwest to talk about, so I'm excited. Thank you again, Aaron, for coming in. Take the hot seat there, my buddy Zach from Z-Wing. If you're just tuning in right now, I want you to swipe up to watch this live feed because you're one of the very few people that I'm developing a nice relationship with, Zach, that you have multiple Instagrams, but on one of the larger ones, like the Bentley of your Instagrams, has over 1 million that people are watching right now. So if you're watching this live interview at Studio110.live with my buddy Zach from Z-Wing Productions and ZwingRally and everything we're going to be talking about today, swipe up. Swipe up. You got nothing else to do. Swipe up. Welcome back to the show. I know you're a busy guy, Zach.
Thanks for having me again.
Thank you for coming back in. I appreciate you coming back into the show. I wanted to get you back in because I think what you're doing is really remarkable and really cool with not only the car rally, but just everything that you're doing within your company. And I wanted to get you back in to the studio here at Studio110.live and talk about it again.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. So let's kick it off. So let everybody know right now, watching on all our feeds, what is a car rally?
So a supercar rally comes down to the camaraderie of the group that you're running with, and it's checkpoint to checkpoint. It's not a race, but it's supercars, and it's more of like a family of people in the car community that gather together. Good food, nice parties, welcome drinks, beautiful locations. It's like a short vacation, but you drive your supercar to each destination, and you get wined and dined on the way.
There you go. I like your jacket, by the way, man. You off the air, last time you were in, you and I were talking a little bit about fashion. It sounds like we're both Zara fans, right? We're both Zara fans. So we both like hitting up Zara. I like to go to the Bellevue one, and I like to go to the downtown one because I feel like they have different, they have a different layout. They have a different merchandise, within their stores down there. Why is the Z-Wing rally different in comparison to other car rallies? And you're really the only one up here in the Northwest. But I remember last time on the show you talked about that, like most of them, they're in Arizona and California and Vegas. So why is the Z-Wing rally different up here in the Seattle metropolitan market?
So like you said, it is the only one in the Pacific Northwest right now, other than ones that do come through Seattle, but I don't know of any that actually start here. Another reason is that just from the experience of going on some of the most incredible supercar rallies around the world in Europe and Australia and in America, I've had a firsthand experience, and I've been in close relationship with the organizers of each of these events. So I get to see how they've put them on, what it takes to do it, and I've seen the good and the bad and the ugly. And I've seen, where to find the correct balance, and I'm taking all that information and that experience, and I'm taking that to also, from a marketing background,
sure.
The whole other half of your business is to be able to market your company. So to have that experience and then to also know how to market it correctly, I think that we can grow pretty well, even despite the rarity of supercar owners there are in this area.
Yeah, and we're not going to mention anybody else's names, obviously, because they don't need shout outs, but. And just in terms of other things that you've seen when you're traveling and, you're taking your human notes to be able to apply to your Z-Wing rally, what are some other things that you've liked and seen that, you are going to apply to your big car rally?
That's a good question. Some of the rallies, there is too much windy road. I mean, like in Europe, there's incredible, beautiful roads. One rally I've been on, there's too many windy roads where by the end of it, you feel like you've been on a roller coaster for 2 hours. And
you're probably nauseous and dizzy, right?
Yeah, and you actually get pretty sick sometimes.
Yeah.
But a lot of car rallies don't have enough of that kind of driving, and some car rallies don't have any, clubs, partying. Some have too much, where you are out till 4 a.m. You wake up at 6 a.m. You get to the driver's meeting. You get in your car. You go to the next destination, and your guys, they're both like hungover or something, and it just becomes unsafe.
Yeah.
And it's like every night they're partying, and so it's all about a balance between all of that.
There you go. Let's talk about the car requirements, how you and your team, ultimately select the cars for the Z-Wing rally.
So it has to be somewhat subjective, even though that's something that we want to avoid. But because of the area we're in, if we're going to lower the criteria, due to the fact that we don't have a ton of supercar clientele in this area, say we want to take on show car material, quality cars, I have to, make a decision on that. And, you know, people may or may not like what I say, whether they're approved or not. But if we want to keep the image of the company high and we want to keep things exclusive, we need to be very subjective about those
And
things.
I couldn't agree with you more. It always takes a leader, and you know, if they disagree or agree, then that's the decision. I mean, you know, your expertise and your background and everything that you've built up until this point, Zach, is remarkable, and you're a well-known person in the car industry, not only locally but nationally and internationally. And who cares? I mean, if they disagree with it, well, you know, they're not the ones presenting it. So they can have whatever info, whatever opinions really about the info that they want. Let's talk about the general info about the ultimate route. Let's walk me through the route. So from point A to point Z.
Let me pull out this notepad. It's quite extensive. So we start in Woodinville at APC Auto Spa for the launch party.
Okay.
We'll have a food truck and DJ, and basically it's kind of an icebreaker for people to get to know each other.
Maybe we can maybe we can take the show out there and broadcast live. Maybe you never know. That'd be cool,
that'd be
right?
Awesome. Yeah. And then we go down to the W Hotel Seattle.
Yep.
It's a 5-star hotel, and then we're gonna Uber over to Ferrari Maserati for a nice catered dinner taken care of and sponsored by them.
Nice.
And we're going to go to then Aura nightclub downtown Seattle.
Yep.
It's that new nightclub that
Right next to Sarajevo Lounge, right down there on Sunday nights.
Yeah, and then we're going to head down. Actually, we're going to head over to the start line, which is going to be at Alki Beach.
Oh, cool.
By the boat launch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to
That's a cool spot to launch.
Yeah, and we're going to do like a parade lap around the peninsula over there. And,
Nice. Now,
wrong?
this probably takes your team to be talking to the city of Seattle, to probably have streets blocked. I mean, this is a big thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just, you know, when did you start just the process? I mean, people think, oh, like, you know, just a couple of months. I'm sure you started everything probably, what, 6-7 months ago, just to get everything into place, just because, you know, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. Usually you go through sometimes a month of recon as well, going down and visiting each nightclub or each like city council to have meetings, and there's constantly meetings. It's a big thing about this rally is you're meeting with a lot of people, a lot of sponsors, a lot of clientele, a lot of big names and people that are going to make this happen.
Yeah, sure.
But after the start line, and am I wrong? Is Alki not a peninsula? Is it a peninsula?
Yeah, I mean, Alki's Alki Reminds me of Seward Park, and Seward Park is a peninsula, and it kind of reminds me of the same thing. You know, the Seward Park Loop down there in Seward Park, it's kind of a roundabout, you know, 360 turn, and Alki's like, because I know when you're driving down on what's the main street above the water? I think Alki Avenue or something.
I don't know.
Something like that. It kind of bends and turns. So yeah.
And then so we come around there, and then we have the next checkpoint is actually to be determined still. But between there and the next checkpoint is Seaside, Oregon, and we're gonna go down there and have a nice 5-star seafood restaurant meal down there. And
sounds great.
We're gonna put all the cars on display and do some video, and I'll try and run through the rest of these.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. So yeah.
Then we're gonna go to Splash Ultra Lounge downtown Portland, and then we're gonna stay at the Actually, no, we're staying at the Benson 5-star hotel. They actually just had a several $1 million renovation.
Nice.
In their hotel, so they're all brand new rooms. And then we're gonna go in the morning. We're gonna go to the Michael Jordan Steakhouse at Alani Casino Resort, which is a 5-star casino.
Nice.
Beautiful. They're sponsoring actually a brunch for everybody to wake up and have a nice breakfast. And then after that is the track day.
That's huge.
And then after the track day at the Ridge Motorsports Park, we go to the W Hotel in Bellevue.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you're hitting up the W in Seattle, the W in Bellevue, the Michael Jordan restaurant. I mean, this is a huge, huge deal. So it's really cool. It's really cool, Zach, to have you back here on the show. And we're going to be talking about that. So if you want to keep that up and handy, we'll be talking about that later in the show. Let's talk about, you touched a little bit, on them. And I want to highlight this a little bit more just because people are out there, you know, they don't know anybody, and it's tough to acquire sponsorship. It's just about who you know and, you know, your relationships with the community and different business leaders. So let's talk about just the overall sponsors that are taking place here for the ZwingRally.
So far, Zadart Exotic Rentals is one of our big ones, and I say that because they're also going to be very helpful as far as helping our clientele get situated with a car that would be eligible for the rally. So Zadart is going to be the title sponsor for the event, and then APC Auto, like I said, they're helping out with the launch party. They're creating all the stickers. They're detailing all the cars, and they're just helping out with some of the capital for funding some of the stuff on this event. And another company, well, Zwing Films, our in-house media team.
There you go.
So we're going to be also capturing the event. That's another big reason I could say ZwingRally is different as well, is that we do have our own in-house media that would be covering the event. I would be filming as well during the event.
And there's not too many. I mean, and believe me, I'm not talking on a local angle, on a national angle. How many opportunities do people have where they could be bringing out their ultimate private car collections and be going to the W hotels, be going to the finest restaurants, and it's a good opportunity for people to showcase their cars.
Yeah.
I mean, because most people, they drive from A to B and, they park it or they valet it or whatever they do. But this is an opportunity where there will be fans standing on the sidewalk watching this. Lots of them.
Yeah. So, the more we sit here and talk about this, that's mostly the goal for all this publicity, is to get people outside that aren't going to be attending to know the route and be able to be there, and have people show up at Alki at the boat launch and be able to know when the cars are going to be there. And so yeah, we'd love to have people along the route.
And what are some ways, and we touched on this, and before I kind of get back to my bullet points, that's kind of a radio term, for radio hosts to go back to their notes. I don't want you to think that we're getting off track here, but what are some ways, Zach, that people, listening right now, that, may have just recently purchased, between our interviews, they may have just, got a new Ferrari or a new Bentley and they're interested. Ultimately, what do they need to do to not necessarily get in contact with you, but maybe one of your teammates or someone in your organization?
To register?
To register.
So we've actually removed the password from the website.
Okay.
I think we can't be quite that exclusive until we've at least had our first rally.
Okay.
So it's just ZwingRally.com.
Okay.
And there's a register button right on the top.
There you go. And if you're watching my buddy Zach's live feed right now on he's been so generous to be able to put numerous amounts of Instagram messaging out there on what's the exact number that you have on your large platform?
The car videos account is 1.5 million.
1.5 million. I mean, does it feel good sometimes when you're on your phone there and you can write something and it can literally that many people?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have 1.5 million. I mean, it's like that's huge, Zach. So it's cool. Like when you were down here last time, we were just kind of playing with it and stuff, and it must be a good feeling. It must not only a good feeling, but a rewarding feeling that those 1.5 million people are there following you, Zach, from what you've built up, from what you've created for Z-Wing and ZwingRally and just everything that you do.
Yeah, and Car Videos is mainly managed by my friend Mike Dachman and down in San Diego.
Okay.
But we both work on it together to grow it, and but yeah, no, it does feel good. You spend years growing an audience, and then Facebook comes in and takes it all away. They throttle who your audience or who gets to see your content that you post down to as much as 4% of the people that already follow you
really
are the only people that see the content that you post. Same with Instagram. It's about it's at least under 10% for sure.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people watching though. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching, not only here, but you've got a fan base, and it's nice to be able to align, my show's fan base and yours, and as a collective effort. And I want this to be I want this to continue to many more things down the road. Let's talk about the reach and audience for the ZwingRally. So the overall kind of reach and audience that you're ultimately looking to target. I know we touched on it, but we always have new people watching us on the audio and video side of the show. So if you want to just kind of touch on the overall reach of the event and kind of the audience.
I don't know if this exactly answers your question, but I do know for sure that we're definitely targeting Vancouver, Canada. We know that there's quite a large. There are a lot of supercars in Vancouver, at least. They're the closest to Seattle, Washington, as well as California. People are willing to come up, and I mean, anybody can come in. Even for example, Turo, right? Say Zadart runs out of supercars to rent out. There's apps like Turo where you could rent a modified M4, like a 2016, 2017 for $300 a day.
Nice.
And it's more affordable. And
Yeah.
so people can, I encourage people even internationally to come out. People from Australia, I have a couple that want to come up and just rent a car and then jump on. And with these apps and Zdart especially, it makes it easier for these people to come from.
Huge. What are some of your plans for the future, Zach?
As far as the rally?
As far as the rally and as far as just, up and coming, new things that you're building out or.
Oh, actually, you spoke to me about wanting to launch something.
Yeah.
Kind of. Tell people a secret that I haven't told anybody yet.
Yes.
And just this week.
Now should we? Now hold on. See, Erica, my producer, and Zach knows this about me. Like, yesterday I had Taya Rosen here. So I don't know if you know who Taya. I'm sure you do. Taya is she was in Maxim, and I wanted her to make this big special announcement. And not to get off the ZwingRally, but we're everybody watching right now. We're coming right back. We gotta talk about other things sometimes on the show, and then we'll but this has to do with Zach's big announcement. So Taya was in here, and she reached out to Erica and myself a couple last week and said, I got this big cool announcement. I want to use the platform at Studio110.live to talk about it. So we did, and I think she was scheduled yesterday for 1:30. So I think I had her make the announcement like at 1:54. Okay. So yeah, so I pushed it back as far as I possibly could.
All right, we can do that.
So I think like you've got some big announcements. So let's see what time it is here locally here in Bellevue, Washington, 2:18. So we'll do that in a few minutes. We'll continue to tease this announcement.
All right.
So we'll keep everybody intact because they have nothing else better to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they have nothing else better to do than watching Dirty Harry and my producer Erica, and of course my special guest Erica. You're the producer, executive producer, Ray, and you are a special person, Erica. But we're talking about Zach, my special guest. Yes. Talk about overall. Hey, it's live radio. I'm a different personality of me today. There you go. Talk about just overall experience level, Zach, in terms of not only for the rally, but the car club and the international platform that you've built in the different videos that you've created. Just the overall experience about where you started and where you're at now, and ultimately where you want to get to.
Yeah, so the way I started came from just a passion for cars and wanting to know more about them, actually. I didn't really have any help or with anything fueling me into getting into cars other than showing up to a Subaru dealership, and they had the World Rally cars on display.
Okay.
I was like 13 years old, and I took home a calendar with a bunch of photos of them on like rallying through. And again, this is a different rally.
Yeah.
This is off-road rally.
Yeah.
And I ripped out all the pages and I hung them up in my room. And when I told myself when I was 16, I'm gonna get myself a blue Subaru with gold wheels, which is what every Subaru fan was
Teenager
all
wants.
over.
Yeah.
And I got a blue Subaru wagon with gold wheels and like
Nice.
a gold DC sticker on it. And everybody in high school made fun of me for it because it was
I don't know why.
station wagon. And I loved it. But anyway, I started making videos with it. I wanted to teach people how to fix their car because I wanted to learn myself. So I went to O'Reilly's and I was like, hey, what do I do to get better gas mileage? And they said, you can change your fuel filter. So I came back with a fuel filter and I had no idea how to change it. So I got a Haynes manual. I couldn't find anything on YouTube, but I figured so many other people might be searching this. And so I might as well make a video. I'll do the research.
Sure.
I'll read it out of a book. And then I started making tutorial videos on YouTube, and I was actually getting hundreds of thousands of views. But then I started a swap, and YouTube slowed down, and but then I actually started focusing more on actual film and falling in love with the camera and production, and that's kind of where it all started, I guess. And where we are now, we're pretty spread out with all the things we're trying to do. We need more people, to grow. Sure. Which will, come. Part of that will come from that announcement. But as far as long-term goals, I want Zwing to be a lifestyle brand in a sense, and there's a lot of things that I want to do with it. But one thing I had envisioned was, say for example, I worked with Nigel Houston down in Australia. He's the world's most decorated skateboarder. They call him the robot because he lands tricks like every time.
Like no one's business.
He's won the most competitions in skateboarding history ever. And we did a video together, and there's a photo of him holding up the first ever Zwing shirt that we made down in Australia at like an Element skate park. And what I want to do is like put that shirt on, people like Nyjah, or put that shirt on other like alternative athletes, and take my Zwing films to another level and reach a greater audience and do bigger collaborations and work with companies like Red Bull and get really creative and see where things go with this empire that we're trying to create and see how far we can take it.
What kind of camera do you use? I'm sure there's multiple ones, but is there, like, when you're talking about like the big productions that like you said reach well over 100,000 people, if not more, what are the tools that you're using to create these?
Yeah, generally I work with a Panasonic Lumix GH4 or GH5, and then we have a GoPro Hero 4. And sometimes when I collaborate or work with other people, for example, one of my assistants in Europe was Darren Streibig. We flew him out from St. Louis, and he has a Red Epic W, which is a $50,000-$60,000 camera.
Wow.
And we use the Movi M15 3-axis image stabilizer and the Movi Pro, it's like a $15,000 stabilization system created by FreeFly, which is actually located in Woodinville.
Cool.
Yeah, here 10, 20 minutes north of us is a company that is kind of dominating in the film industry for image stabilization across, internationally. People use their products.
Well, I would think wouldn't it be a smart move if they just like gave you one of theirs, just with the reach that you're building out on an international platform, like, and even inscribed it into Zach's personal camera?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be great. They should absolutely do that. We touched on this earlier in the interview, and before I ask this next question, we're all familiar with the different TV shows that have been around cars, decking out cars, like exhibits on MTV Pimp My Ride and all that. Have you ever thought about? Because I think you've got the proper ingredients. If anybody could do this, Zach, it's you. Have you ever thought about, like, in addition to everything that you're working on and creating on the TV side, but actually doing a show, like actually doing a TV show?
I actually was approached by someone to talk about doing exactly what you're talking about through MTV. And
through MTV?
Yeah, but
cool.
I had a lot. There's like I said, there's a lot of pieces to juggle, and
Sure.
I didn't feel my business was quite ready to leave behind to pursue a TV show. Granted, you're just doing your everyday thing while they're filming it, but I didn't feel like I was quite ready to showcase that. I didn't have a Zwing headquarters or anything like that.
Yeah. But I think you're probably there now. So I'm sure I'm sure you have their number. I'm sure you could say, hey, like you may have approached me at not the best time, but I'm ready to do it now.
But in the meantime, speaking of, we're talking to people like Duncan Penn from The Buried Life, which was one of my favorite MTV shows, which was a purple bus with 4 dudes that went around the country crossing off their bucket list, sneaking into the Emmys, or playing basketball with Barack Obama, and all these different crazy things they did. And they're actually talking about coming on the rally with us.
That would be huge.
And promoting that way with their reach. They have a new TV show too, I think, called Theos. And we've been talking about them coming on the rally because we want young, fun guys to be able to come on the rally and make for good content as well. When we're filming.
So if you're just walking down the street by Alki day, come rally day, like just painting the visual presentation of how it's going to look, because just average couple walking their dog or down by the water, like I can imagine just a lot of really nice cars and a lot of big, huge, $70,000 cameras. It's probably going to look like like a high end. Tesla TV commercial, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. That's how I envision.
So.
That's how I envision it. And then you said you're going. One of the first stops is Ferrari.
Ferrari, Maserati, Seattle.
Yeah, right there off of Madison Street.
Yeah.
I pass by it all the time and see all the cars. In fact, my buddy was invited to a breakfast there like a month ago, and he went downstairs. I guess downstairs there they have just a whole bunch of other cars, and that they don't really take upstairs because they're more of the higher price point vehicles. But what are some of the cars that you've seen downstairs? Have you been downstairs there?
No, actually, I haven't. I've got a friend who said he could take me down there, but I know what you're talking about. I hear they have quite a collection underground.
Yeah, probably where they should be stored, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Ferraris. My buddy got is it the California T? Is that the?
Maybe.
I think that's the Ferrari that he got, and it's definitely, you feel like, when you're wanting to clear an intersection.
Yeah.
Up there in the passenger seat, you feel like you're almost on a jet.
Yeah.
Getting ready to take off. So let's recap, because we always have new listeners tuning in here at Studio 110.live. I've got my buddy Zach here in the studio with me. If you're watching right now on the live feed, you know what you got to do. You know what you got to do. In fact, Erica did such a good job today. So, Erica, if you want to come over here real quick and tell Zach's audience, so the producer of the show, I say swipe up fun, but I want Erica to, if you feel comfortable.
Swipe up, guys. You got to swipe up. We got to get those viewers. We got to get them. Let's do it.
There you go. There you go. You always have to incorporate your producer and right hand into the show. So, like Erica, the show's producer here, just said, you got to swipe up. You gotta swipe up. If I could say it in multiple languages, Zach, I would do it. I would do it. But I honestly, I don't know of it. I know of others, but I'm not even gonna attempt it, because I don't want to butcher anything. So let's recap here a little bit. We got the big ZwingRally coming up, and give them all the ingredients again. Give them the rundown, every piece of information they need to know, and then we're gonna get back out of here.
May 25th to the 27th. Starts in Seattle, ends in Seaside. Not really. That's just the branding, Seattle to Seaside. It starts actually technically in Woodinville. We go down to Seaside, then Portland, and then we end in Bellevue, actually. But to register, it's ZwingRally.com, and it's 2 people per car minimum. So you have to have a passenger. So if you are hungover, at least you have a designated driver for the next morning.
You want a co-pilot, because if you turn off and you get off the rally kind of course, someone needs to say, hey,
Yeah, you always need a co-pilot.
You probably want to follow that Lamborghini instead of following that Hyundai, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's also helpful for someone to navigate. Yeah,
right,
keep your eyes on the road.
Right.
And then, if you guys have any questions, you can always reach me at Zwing on my Instagram account. You can send me a direct message. I respond to everybody. So
and give that out again.
It's Zwing. So
Zwing.
Instagram.com/Zwing.
Okay. And do you think since you got a major announcement that you've allowed me on my show to be able to unveil today, do you think we should be going back on it live on the air, or do they already know to be listening?
It's not that crazy, but it's cool. It's something exciting for me.
Okay, well, you've got my permission if you want to put it out there again to your audience and your viewers, if they want to be at Studio110.live to listen to this announcement. I mean, you're a modest, humble guy when you say it's like, in your opinion, it might not be that big, but for someone like myself who wouldn't even know where to start.
Well, it's really not that.
Well, I think it's big. So we got Zach's announcement coming up. When should we do it? It's 2:30 now. I usually close the show out at about 2:50. So maybe we'll do it, the next 10 minutes or so, and then we'll talk about that. Until then, are you interested? We talked about fashion.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about fashion. We're going to get back into this, but I thought you'd be interested to know that there's a gal named Okara Banks.
Okay.
She's a fashion stylist out of Los Angeles, who I met at Shaquille O'Neal's birthday party in Los Angeles during NBA All-Star Weekend. Shaquille O'Neal was there, Bill Bellamy, Okara. So Okara reached out to the show, Erica and myself. It was a week and a half ago, something like that. And she said, you know what, I'm fascinated by your new show, and I want to come up here and I want to join you in the studio. So she's taken it upon herself she's based out of Los Angeles. She's flying up here, and and you're more than welcome to stop by if you got fashion questions or tips, or you want to know what to wear to the big ZwingRally.
Yeah.
We've got to tie it back in here. Okara will be in the studio Thursday and Friday.
Awesome.
And she works with a lot of big celebrities, and
as a personal wardrobe stylist.
So
That's
she'll
cool.
be talking about her favorite brands and what's going on traction wise in the LA market on the fashion scene, and where fashion needs to go. You know, I mean, you and I both, we're both Zara fans, and I actually haven't asked her before about Zara, so I'll be curious. I'll be curious to know what Okara's personal thoughts are on a business standpoint as of Zara and the movement that they're making. So you are more than welcome. And who knows? I'm sure she's into cars. You live in LA. How can you not live in LA and not be into cars?
Yeah.
I mean, most people in LA, and correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, is they'll live like in a hole in the wall, but then they'll be driving a Ferrari.
Yep.
So I've never really understood it. Like, you drive a Ferrari, you live in a hole in the wall, you meet someone out on, at a bar or a club, like, they see the car,
Yeah.
but then, you want to take it back to your residence or whatever, or, you've been dating for a while, so it's okay to bring them back and, have a drink or dessert. And then, it's like you drive this car, but then you live at this type of spot.
I think it was called Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
And we were at a Cars and Coffee event. And
Okay.
Who's the actor? Jay Fox? The Django?
I don't know. Do you know Erica?
I'm saying it completely wrong.
That's fine. That's fine.
The star of Django,
Yeah.
right? I don't know how I'm forgetting his name.
I'm not a huge
crazy big actor. Huh?
I've never been a huge.
Dwayne Johnson?
No.
No.
Wait, Django, the one that just came out, the new version?
Nah, it's a couple years old.
Oh, it's the original.
I've never been.
Fox.
Yeah, I've never been a huge movie fanatic fan.
Yeah.
I just,
There's celebrities that come
Yeah,
through all
sure.
the time to the big car events, and
So talk about this story.
no, it's just funny. You show up to Cars and Coffee and you see these beautiful supercars, and then out pops celebrities in their Rolls Royce or their G-Wagon, and
Yeah.
they got cigars in their mouth, and they
Yeah.
walk through the event. And that's the other cool thing about working in this high-end market. And supercars are not foreign to anybody. Everybody loves them.
Yeah.
And so you get chances and opportunities to work with big-time celebrities or influencers.
Yeah.
And people that just love to be a part of the car scene in some way, because it's a way to flaunt, and a way for them to, show what they've earned or, what they do.
Yeah.
And,
So
it brings a lot of cool opportunities.
It does. And in addition to, like we talked about you, and probably with your success, you'll probably, I would be guess, developing it and putting it out like, a car type of show. But what are your thoughts to maybe opening up like an exclusive like car, not dealership, but like a car outlet where, people could, come under your wing, come under kind of your guidance, and, ultimately you could put their cars out there on either a retail side or just completely redoing them, or, whatever your team would want to do.
Well,
Jimmy Fox.
yeah, Jamie Foxx.
I was going to say Jamie Foxx.
I said
and that's,
Jay Fox.
And that's so funny about, because Okira is actually, she works with him. So
Really?
yeah, so I was
okay.
actually going to say Jamie Foxx, but I didn't, I like to try to be factual.
Yeah.
When you're on the air, you want to try to be factual.
Yeah,
so.
of course. What you're talking about kind of ties into what the announcement is.
Okay.
And
All right. Well, then you know what? I then I don't want to. I want to back up. I want to back up here a little bit. So if this is a big announcement, we've had multiple ones on this show. So we're going to continue to wait a little while longer before we make that announcement. When you're not filming big productions like you're accustomed to be doing, Zach, what are you doing on your off time? It sounds like you have zero off time. Sounds like you have zero time to think about yourself. But what else do you enjoy doing off the grid?
I spend most all of my time with my girlfriend,
Okay.
Ty, and she's at work right now at All Courant. Shout out.
Shout out to Ty, your girlfriend.
She works at a new salon on Mercer Island right now.
Hair salon?
Uh-huh.
I'm actually getting my haircut tonight. I'm looking forward to getting my haircut. But
She worked downstairs at Gene Juarez for the last year,
okay.
almost. And yeah, she loves doing hair.
So maybe we should talk to her. Maybe you
We
and
need to get her on here because she's so much more entertaining than I am to sit
you're
here.
good.
She's the funniest person I know. So you'd love to have her in here.
Yeah,
So.
I'd love to get her in. And Erica, what do you think about a haircut live on the air?
That would be perfect.
What do you think about a haircut live on the air? I mean, no, I don't know if you could bring in a mobile version of like how you wash someone's hair. And for the blow dryers, we could pot the microphones up
Yeah.
louder and stuff. But I could be talking and interviewing people. She could be cutting my
She
hair.
would love to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I have different style headphones. Like these are official radio host style headphones. The MDR 7506s by Sony. But I have different buds that I can put in. So when she's buzzing my
Yeah,
hair
there you go.
and styling it,
And
then
She's mainly a colorist, so she can, give you a little pink frosted tips or.
I don't know if I'm into that. I don't know if I'm into that, but I think it would be a great idea to not only do a haircut, and she's probably watching right now. She's probably telling her manager, "Oh my gosh, Dirty Harry is on his show right now at Studio 110.live. We got to get into his studio. Erica's got to call us right now to book a live haircut on the big program." And I think this could evolve Erica to other things as well. I think we could maybe we could give away some haircuts.
Yeah.
Maybe we can give away some discounts to some services.
That'd be cool.
Maybe we can get the owner in here to do an interview.
Yeah.
Like
Barb. We'll bring Barb on in here.
Maybe they'll be one of our possible sponsors where they could be doing my hair for upcoming appearances. Erica, I think the world is endless.
Sponsorship trade.
Erica, I think the world is endless when it comes time to proper hair etiquette, especially when we have cameras in here. She's crying. She's laughing so hard back there. So I'm glad because it's only 2:37 and we still got 23 minutes to go and a couple hours left until we wrap up here at Studio 110. So Zach, again, we got a big car rally happening here in primetime Seattle. You couldn't have chosen a better place to kick it off down there at Alki. I mean, you and I both know. If you're not from here, if you're listening, because we have a lot of people all over the country and people around the world listening that might not be familiar with Alki until they really actually come and see it, and it's probably the best place to do it.
It's the closest thing we have to like a Mission Beach down in San Diego or something.
It's the best place to do it. So, will you have to show up there at 4 a.m. day of just to prepare everything, or like what time will you actually have to show up day of?
I'd say probably 7.
7.
I don't think it'll be too crazy. If we have enough people out there helping us set up the.
I'm sure you have hundreds of people out there. I'm sure you have a lot of people out there at a production like this, and you'll have another big decision to make. Since your girlfriend is a hairstylist, will you wear a hat that day, or will you have her actually style your hair? So because you'll have a lot of people out there, Ferraris, Lamborghinis.
She'll be styling my hair because my hat would fly out if I'm hanging out filming the cars anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have to be in the proper.
I had this hat and I lost it on my flight to Germany once. It was like in the American Airlines plane. This was my favorite hat, this Nike SB hat, and I flew back to Germany to actually film a rally. The first month was for Recon. And when I had come back, Ty surprised me with this as a gift because it was my favorite hat, and I lost it.
More girlfriends need to do that for their boyfriends. Yeah.
And I'm hanging out of this Mercedes AMG C63 wagon, and I stick my head out the window with my camera to film. I think it was a Porsche 997 behind me, and my hat flies out of the window, and these 2 German guys in front, I was like, pull the car over, and they're like, what, it's just a hat? And I was like, no, it's not just a hat. I'm not losing another one. And they're like, pull over. I had to convince them. They pull over, and I just sprinted back and grabbed my hat. Like, car had already driven over it, but I got it back.
And now, is that the hat you're actually wearing right now? That's the hat you're wearing right now. Yeah. Wow. For the cameras right now in the studio, maybe they can go. This hat has got history. This hat has got history and a whole. Look at that story you just shared. I like stories like that. It's a real life experience.
That would be good to come back for. I've got some pretty crazy stories.
Well, believe me, you've already come in twice, and Erica's managing the show's calendar, and we'll get you back in here. I think it's time to unveil the big announcement. We're gonna have to get a drum roll, some sort of drum roll sound effect in here to give Zach the proper introduction. If you're watching on whatever feed you're watching on right now, on his Instagrams or on Facebook or YouTube or
Instagrams.
There you go. Yeah, because there's multiple ones, right? There are multiple ones. So we got to give the proper. It looks like we have TV crews here today.
Is that Microsoft?
I don't know who that is, but the people here at Studio 110's headquarters saying that we're going to have a TV crew pop in. It just shows you how big the show is getting when you have TV cameras
from Microsoft.
Outside of the studio filming you. So shout out to everybody at Microsoft. All right, so let's make the big announcement here. The floor is yours. I'll back away from my mic.
So it's not huge, but it's been a big personal goal of mine. and we finally found a shop.
Nice.
Kind of a private shop space. We're signing the lease on downtown in Capitol Hill, Seattle.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't usually get too personal, but I live on Capitol Hill, so I'm always excited. I do, and I'm very excited that you and I will be in closer proximity distance now. What is it near?
Man, I've been there once.
Okay.
So it's hard to. I think
No
it's
problem.
It's somewhere near Swedish.
That's a good area.
It's in between,
like kind of by the
Central
garage
International.
bowling alley there. You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's like a corner market store
Yep.
that's like owned by a residence.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about? So, and then shout out to Ivan who found the shop.
Shout out to Ivan.
My buddy who we're going to be working together there. But yeah, it's kind of a private shop, but we already have 3 tire machines in there, and we've got, all of our tools, jacks, and we're going to put a lift inside.
Great.
And there's space for 4 cars. So it's not huge, but we're working, you got to start somewhere, right? And so this is a space.
That's more than somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is space for us to be able to, put the car up on the lift. If we bring it to an event, our promo car, which is a drift car, it's a purpose-built drift car, which we want to eventually compete with.
Yep.
Say I had just recently gotten that accident, right? I can now fix it in my own shop. Whereas, living in an apartment in Seattle, paying $250 a month for a parking garage is pointless because that car needs to be kept in a secret area anyway. Yeah. But we can film YouTube videos. We can do more organic content inside the shop, and as well, we're gonna kind of break off an office space in there. Great. And we're gonna, this is just what we were talking about last week about how I wanted to do this, and then a couple of days later we found one. So we'll be able to bring in contractors and editors, and eventually an employee to sit down and work on video content with me or marketing or whatever there is.
Great. And I think it would be cool too, like like how much foot traffic is on like that Pike Pine corridor in the heart of Capitol Hill there, where you're just a few blocks away. I think it'd be cool. I don't know if you've ever thought of this, is to kind of open your doors like in the evening when the majority of the people are out there, so they can see kind of what's going on. I mean, because how many people do that?
Well, and speaking of that, we're thinking about doing kind of like a Japan style car cafe where we set up a bar and we've got like a barista in the corner.
It's a great idea, Zach. You need to do that. It's a great idea.
It's a really small space though, and that's why I say it's not a huge announcement, because it's something we want to work toward a bigger space eventually. But for me to be more productive, to separate work from home has always been a big thing that I've always wanted to do. But to be able to afford rent downtown Seattle and a shop downtown Seattle is expensive. So we're starting small, but we're going to grow into something bigger eventually. And but big thanks to my friend Ivan for finding this place.
Shout out to Ivan, man.
We've been talking about this for the last 3-4 years between him, me, and a buddy of mine, Aaron. And we're finally making it come to life. So yeah, that's my big announcement.
Well, that's a big announcement. And when do you expect doors to officially open?
Well, it's already open.
So, it's already open?
Yeah,
okay.
It's already ours.
Okay.
So
I thought when you kicked off the announcement, you found a place. I didn't know it was actually up and functional.
Yeah, we've already signed the lease on it.
Great. So is your team actually right now working on vehicles as we speak there?
No, not quite yet. I still have to move in. We still need to even transport the car down from APC. It's currently at the APC Auto Spa in Woodinville.
Cool. Well, hopefully you can work with Erica here, my producer, and right hand here, and we can organize something where we can potentially broadcast from there. Yeah, it'd be cool to broadcast, from the shop and watch the magic happen, or do some live videos from there if they can't get me out of the studio that particular day. But I'd love to do that. So let's circle back again for all the audience that are just tuning in right now at Studio110.live. If you're not following us on Instagram, like Zach is a big believer, you need to be following us. You need to be following us on our Instagram. You need to be following Zach. Zach, give the addresses out, and then I want you to talk again about the rally.
So ZwingRally.com.
Swipe up.
Yeah. Yeah, actually on my Instagram account, which is Zwing or ZwingRally, I actually have highlights where you can just click on a highlight which says registration, swipe up. You can click on a highlight which says podcast, and it takes you to the Studio 110
Very nice
live podcast.
Look what Zach is doing. Look, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I've been preaching. I've been preaching at the podium here, saying that the show is evolving to so many levels where we have someone like Zach at his level assisting us, working with Erica and the team. Yeah. I mean, it's just huge. So carry on.
And then, yeah. So to recap, we're talking about the Supercar Rally.
And then
May
they should all be swiping up. Not just
Now,
one of them, all
if
the
they're-
accounts.
If they're here, if they're watching us, that means they did swipe up.
Okay, good.
So
Good.
yeah,
Good.
But just to clarify, but yes, that's something to get in people's brains if they didn't get here through swiping up, is that if they are
missed
following
out.
us on Instagram, then they know that next time we're tuning in, next time we're on the air,
Which will be regularly.
it's easier for them. Now they've got some muscle memory to remember to just bring that thumb right up.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, it's really not that hard to do. I mean, just swipe up.
Yeah.
So okay, so continue to give the details for me. We've got a big car rally coming up. Pretty much the nicest cars imaginable. So it's not like, it's not going to be cheap cars.
Yeah, I'll be driving an Aventador on the rally.
Wow.
A Lamborghini Aventador.
Wow.
And
What color?
I think it's white.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's like a matte or a pearl or satin white, something like
And
that.
so I'm sure you have everybody. This is where you probably have everybody hitting you up saying, "Can I be your co-pilot?"
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's your girlfriend.
Yeah, so actually, she's going to be flying down with me. She's going to be flying down. She's going to be missing the first day. She's going to fly down to Portland. I'm going to fly her down, and then I'm going to drive. She's going to drive back up with me. She's going to be my co-pilot for the track day and back up to the W Hotel.
That's great.
But we're going to work with an influencer to have them in the driver's seat to be able to film, and or whoever else is filming the rally with me, they'll be able to sit there and.
Yeah, I think you'll be in probably the nicest car out of anybody. I mean, shout out to everybody that's going to be in the rally, and they all have nice cars. But I mean, can you think of a nicer car than that? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, if a McLaren P1 showed up or a Ferrari LaFerrari, that'd be awesome. I don't
sure
really
they
see
will.
that happening.
I mean, they exist here. I mean, do those cars exist here?
I don't think so. Not in Seattle. I think there may have been one LaFerrari that I've seen or heard about in Seattle. I could be completely wrong. But Mark Wang, also from Car Meets app, they just launched their new app called Car Meets, which is something that started in the Pacific Northwest. Mark Wang, the owner, is going to be driving in his Aventador.
Nice.
And actually, the coolest car I think is going to be on the rally is our first sign up, driven by at R8.LMS. He has a full carbon fiber Audi R8 GT3 inspired street car. So
Wow.
that means if you've ever seen, you may not have seen this, but like it's Gran Turismo style endurance racing where
Wow.
There's cars with say there's a Ferrari 488, or I guess you could call it a Le Mans style car as well, where you see the antennas on top of the car and the yellow tint over their headlights. They're all very low to the ground and just sexy, mean looking race cars. And this R8 coming down from Vancouver, I think is going to be one of the cooler cars that'll be there. And it's the first thing you see when you go to our website. So when you do go to ZwingRally.com, you'll see his R8 just right there on top.
Great.
It's got lime green accents on the mirrors and the front windshield banner. Actually, he just got it rewrapped though, so now it looks completely different, and he's building it. And I mean, the thing about this car and why I'm so excited about it is because this is the image that I want the rally to represent. Is not only supercars or supercar owners coming on this rally, but people that are really true car enthusiasts, not people that just have the money to flaunt, something they're interested in, but also are madly in love with cars and have the money to take something like an Audi R8, put a full carbon fiber body on it, pull the motor out and upgrade the turbo system and, put in new rods, crack open the block and completely rebuild the motor. And I mean, that's you need to have a lot of serious money to be able to do that.
That was my next question that I'm dying to ask you is what's the dollar amount in order to just completely reconfigure a car like that?
So I can't answer for the supercar market as far as taking apart a motor, but I know that, like, say, I've been to the machine shop many times, whether it was to fix a blown head gasket with a warped head, or to build a block, to split open the crankcase and, I would say for an Audi R8, I'm sure that the markup and the tax on pistons or rods alone for an Audi R8 block would be quite a lot more expensive than for like an LS3 from a Corvette, because that's the high-end market. You always get to
Yeah.
put tax on your stuff.
And what's the horsepower? How fast does that car go?
I have no idea.
There you go.
I don't
Well, you'll soon be finding out.
I would assume somewhere around 800 or 900, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the closest thing to a jet.
We could ask him. I'll tell you guys next time.
Maybe next time you come in, you'll be able to bring him in on the big show. Okay, give me the date again for the
May 25th,
May 25th,
May 26th, and May 27th.
And
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
and it kicks off again where?
Woodinville, Washington, APC Auto Spa.
Okay.
And then we go down to W Hotel Seattle. We go to Ferrari Maserati for dinner. We go to the Aura nightclub in Seattle to relax and, continue this icebreaker, getting to know each other. And then we wake up, we go to Alki Beach in the morning, head down to Seaside, Oregon, seafood dinner, go night clubbing in Portland. We stay at the beautiful Benson 5-star hotel with the millions of dollars it took to remodel that hotel.
Wow.
Just freshly reopened. And again, something I didn't mention was there's going to be security management that's going to be watching over the cars at night at each hotel. That's going to be on staff.
I'd imagine they'll be up all night. Yeah.
Yeah, and for people that want to upgrade their rooms or anything like that, we have a travel agent on staff that'll be able to answer any phone calls and correspond with the hotels and make that happen. And that way I don't have to sit there and be stressed out and deal with all that.
And you shouldn't. You've thought of literally every INT imaginable. Zach.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to. I mean, you have to be creative like you want to think about the travel side of it, the security side of it, the food side of it, the alcohol side of it. And speaking of the alcohol side of it, I like Aura. So maybe if I'm in the area that day, I'll pop my head in if I'm allowed to show up.
Yeah.
And if I have to pay anything, believe me, I will come and support this and pay what I need to pay or send you the text message. Hey buddy, I'm outside. Can you come get me?
Or after the track day at the very end, we just organized with the W Hotel to I think it was 15 bottles of Chardonnay.
Okay.
For everybody to roll up, and they get a opening or a welcome drink, so they get a glass of wine, and then they can, relax by the pool, and we'll have our finishing ceremony and our final hurrah.
There you go. And I may invite Erica. Please remind me, I may invite Ian from Glass Distillery. He might be a good buddy of mine to show up and come out and support. It might be a good opportunity for Zach to meet him. He owns and operates Glass Distillery. It's a vodka brand down in Soto, down in Soto, and it's definitely, I think, 20 states right now. He just can't even keep it. He can't even keep it in. Let's wave to all the cameras outside here. We got our cameras, and then we got cameras outside the studios. So we got the whole Microsoft crew out here watching us outside of the studios. Thank you for coming down, Microsoft. Thank you, Zach, for coming in today. They still have 6 minutes to swipe up. Nothing else better to do. So swipe up, y'all. And if you're in Australia, or if you're watching us in Prague or Warsaw, Poland, or wherever you're watching us, swipe up. So that's the most important thing that you could be doing.
Syria.
Thank you again, Zach, for coming in. Tell your girlfriend that I'm looking forward to getting a haircut in about 4. I usually wait about 4 weeks to get a haircut. So
Tell her, and sorry I didn't get you a smoothie this morning. I love you.
Well, please, that was very nice, Zach. I'll allow you to say that again, just so she can know the type of guy that I am. So when she's cutting my hair, she'll know that, that dirty, hairy guy is a nice guy. So say that again. So
shout out to Ty, my love. I'm sorry I forgot your smoothie this morning.
but you had a lot of other, major important things on the calendar for today, like to tell 1.5 million people on that particular Instagram to tune into the big show at Studio 110.live. And that I'll think, I'm sure Erica, because she knows me so well, she'll write. She's probably already written down a note to have a smoothie ready for her here in the studio the day she cuts my hair. What kind of smoothies does she like?
Strawberry.
I can agree with her on that. Yeah.
Bananas.
You like those too?
That's my favorite.
She likes acai bowls from Emerald City. Yeah. And also shout out to my brother Sebastian and his fiancee Ariana, who are watching this, that are getting married.
Where are they watching from?
In June, from Canada.
Canada. Very nice. What part? Vancouver? I love Vancouver.
I think they're in Langley.
Yeah. I love Vancouver. I love Robson Street up there. By the way, shouting out, thanks for reminding me. My buddy Jeff Martini up in Vancouver, he owns a men's and women's boutique. It's on Robson and Hornby Street, right across the street from the new Nordstroms up there, called Dipped. So DIPT. So every time I'm up in Vancouver, I always stop by and hang out with my buddy Jeff. Jeff's like the mayor of Vancouver for the nightlife. Like, he's got his pulse. He knows everything going on. So I want to thank you again, Zach, for coming in today. You'll continue to be a regular. Thank you. You'll continue to be a regular guest on the show. We'll have you in again before the rally to talk about it and see if we can get the show out there to be broadcasting live, depending on the show's calendar for that day. I want to shout out my buddy Aaron Levine, who was on the air before you today, Zach, Q13 Sports. I don't know if you have time to watch TV, but anytime I need updated knowledge on anything going on the sports arena side of things, I tune into Q13 and watch my buddy Aaron. So we'll get him back here. The knowledge that he has, it would take me years to get to that level. So I appreciate him coming in. And then tomorrow, O'Kara, I know O'Kara, you're listening right now from Los Angeles. Have a safe, good flight up here to the Northwest. Looking forward to having you in the studio tomorrow, Zach. You're more than welcome to stop by if you want to ask O'Kara. If we have time, you'll have to talk to Erica to see if we can manage that. I'm sure we can for you.
Yeah.
And I know we have a lot of other guests. The High Children, Jason and Jamal from the High Children will be coming by tomorrow. The latter part of the show, maybe doing a live performance, talking about their success. My boy Nasty Ness, who's responsible for my career, and of course Sir Mix-a-Lots. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Excited for tomorrow's show. Thank you again, Zach. Any other shout-outs you want to give before we sign off for the day?
Shout out Mom and Dad.
Can't forget them. How do we put Mom and Dad last on the bucket list for shout-outs?
I don't know.
Well, that's all right.
I don't know.
Any other shout-outs you got?
And Katrina, my sister.
Your sister. Okay. Yeah. So shouting out Zach's mom and dad and Katrina's sister
living down in Lacey.
Because I don't want to turn off the mics and then you forget or you remember one.
No, yeah.
So any other shout outs you want to give?
My boy Logan down in Vancouver, Washington.
Yep.
My boy Vinny.
Yeah. Oh, you just reminded me. See, Zach is good to get on, Erica, because he's always reminding me. And I don't know the time difference. And I think he's in Italy. My buddy Morgan Carey, who's Mariah Carey's brother, checking out the big show internationally. Yeah, Morgan Carey. So Morgan, I appreciate it. I know you and I need to catch up. I'll text you and we'll figure out an appropriate time. Please tell your wonderful sister Mariah I sent regards. And like I said, follow us on Instagram at studio110.live, the brand new live podcast. Shouting out again, Microsoft out here. I can't even think how many cameras we got going here. We got cameras out on the after show patio. We got cameras in here. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. If you're working here locally on Pacific Standard Time, you only got a couple hours left. It's Wednesday. It's we're continuing to go. Come on in, Ryan. Come on in, Ryan. I might stay a few minutes on later today than expected. I got my buddy Ryan. I'm very excited, Ryan, that you're here. It's the first time that you've joined me here on my new show at Studio 110.live. If you want to put the headphones on now. I'm on 1 to 3 Monday through Friday Pacific Standard Time. But Ryan, please meet Zach. Ryan, Zach. Zach's got a big, huge, very well respected car rally coming up. It's going to be kicking off down at Alki. Why don't you tell Ryan? Ryan's into cars. Tell Ryan about your car rally.
So do you know anything about supercar rallies?
It seems like a dangerous place to have a car rally.
Yeah. Well, it's have you heard of the Gumball 3000
Yes,
or anything? So they have start lines where they just parade through. They drive slowly. Alki Beach there's not going to be any racing around there.
This isn't Fast and Furious.
Yeah. No, but once we hit the highway, people will start going pretty fast. But yeah, we start up here in Seattle area. We go to Ferrari Maserati for dinner, and then nice 5-star hotel. And then we drive down to Seaside, Oregon, Portland, clubs, race. We've got a racetrack that we're renting out for the next day, and then we end here in Bellevue at the W Hotel, which actually just opened, I think about 9 months ago. Pretty recent, but it's incredible. The W Hotel at Bellevue, the bar area is really nice, and so we're renting that out, and I'm pretty excited about that too.
There you go. Well, I appreciate you coming by the big show today. We'll continue to have you in, Ryan. Thanks. I just wanted to, I don't know if you you probably don't have much time. You've got a busy schedule. If you want to come a little closer to the mic for me, I want to introduce my buddy, my personal friend here, Ryan Conley. He's a very large part of everything happening here at Studio 110 on multiple. Thank you, Zach. Thank you very much. If Zach wants to hang out in the green room, I'll take some pictures with him after I get off the air. So thank you, Zach. So Ryan, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show. I had to go through ultimately some of the staff members here to get it on the calendar with your busy, hectic schedule, and you got a lot going on. And I don't know if you wanted to just kind of if you wanted to for just a quick amount of time, just talk a little about what you're working on. And I know you'll be able to maybe join the show, every week or every 2 weeks or something like that.
Most definitely. But what I want to say first of all, brother, is I'm just glad to have you with us over
Thank
here.
you very much.
And
Thank you.
I've been a fan before we started talking about all this and putting the show together up here.
Thank
I've been
you.
a fan of your work over at Cube 93 back in the day before we got going into the digital, the digital music online so much and stuff. And so what you and I have discussed is just about the future of the radio shows,
Yes.
the future of music, and
Yes.
just the podcasts. I mean,
Yeah.
like people are into Joe Rogan podcasts and stuff like this, and I just think that you're doing a really good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Meeting
Thank you.
up with the people and the phenomenal guests that you guys have on board. So
Thank you.
been a fan. So
And we have a lot of guests coming up, like shouting out Macklemore. He's about to have a baby, but he's agreed to come into the show in the next few weeks or whenever it's appropriate for Macklemore. Sir Mix-a-Lot is on a tour, but he's coming back. And Andy Case is coming in she's allowing me to play the song before it goes out to the world. And we got Seahawks players coming in. So, this show is definitely reaching levels that, I'm excited about. Erica, the show producer, I think we started off with, even before we even launched, before my first show, Ryan, 2 weeks ago tomorrow, we had like 22 followers on Instagram. Now we're approaching 800.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
So
Good stuff.
I'm pretty happy with 800 followers on Instagram, and not only it hasn't even been 2 weeks.
For sure, and I just think it's really important for people to know where we're going with all this.
Yes, and please talk about that.
And so that's what I'm here to talk about
Yeah,
today.
just come a little closer to the mic.
Okay,
There you go. Thank you.
go.
Thank you.
So, anyways, what we've really started doing is dialing in the future of social media and cryptocurrency coming together, and also how that ties into the radio and promoting these phenomenal guests that we've had on board with us. Really.
Yeah.
And just the concept of monetization, how this has really been missing in the industry. There's something definitely missing out there.
Yes.
Where this, getting the word about people out there and their followings and the things that they represent, like Jason, right here and stuff like this. What is the best way for these groups to communicate and be part of something long term? And
Sure.
This is why we have FutureNet here in the background. Stuff is like it being the next Facebook that pays the people in Bitcoin.
Yes.
And so cryptocurrency, this is my passion in helping to change the world. My background was in real estate before I got involved in cryptocurrency and social media and stuff. And I just, social media is the future of communication is how I see it. You know? So we're just, being here with Lineage, Aaron, our developer, who helped make the cryptocurrency exchange, the biggest one in the United States and stuff. I mean, we just have some phenomenal talent that's come together for the projects that we're working on right now.
Awesome.
So, I just think that you guys, if you haven't taken a look at FutureNet out there, for those who have not taken a look at it, it's the next Facebook that pays the people in Bitcoin, and how much time people are putting into social media nowadays. Whether we're, me and you do lunch, for example, right? And if one of us, not that we were ever sitting here on our phones while we're at lunch together, but how people are living in the digital world, in the virtual digital world, and also the physical world at the same time. When at one point that world didn't really exist so much. So people are online so much right now, and I think there's just a better way to do social media. I think some very interesting things have happened. Just to touch base, we'll talk about like where social media has gone just in the last like 2-3 weeks. While I've been in Haiti and Jamaica and Hawaii, right?
Welcome back. I haven't even seen you. Last time I saw you, buddy, you were. I think maybe it was the last time we had lunch at the what's the spot we went to over here?
Our vegetarian joint,
right? near Studio 110.live's headquarters. But it was a great lunch. I haven't seen you in a couple weeks, and I'm always asking the staff here, tell Ryan I said hello, because I don't like to text you or call you unless I want to have you on the show. But carry on.
Yeah. So if you look at some of the key things that have happened, like there's Facebook just had a massive data breach right here. This is and the hashtag delete Facebook has come about, like going rampant all over Twitter right now.
Okay.
This is a major thing. It's going to be very interesting to see where this leads. I mean, back when MySpace went into Facebook, when we transitioned, there was no massive lawsuit. It was just a sell-off, and obviously the technology evolved.
Okay.
But I think where we're at right now today with privacy and where this is all evolved to is there hasn't been a breach of privacy for the 2.5 billion users in Facebook, and people are looking. People should be getting paid for their social media interactions. Plain
Absolutely,
and simple.
absolutely.
And so
that's what you're continuing to create and evolve, just from the level that you're continuing to build. And I know, because you've shared with me just the direct testimonials, Ryan, from people that you've worked with and how their lives have changed. I mean, I don't like to get too personal on the air, but I remember your father, who's a remarkable man.
He's done well.
He's done well, and I mean, what an honor it is to you, Ryan, to be able to put your parents in that position. I mean, and I've told you this many times, Ryan, throughout our friendship. And I'm glad we're talking about it right now on the air, is how many kids can have that ability to take care of their parents like the way you do?
Well, I mean, we're at 2.5 million users right now, which is 1/10 of the world's Bitcoin population is on this social media. And yes, that's nothing compared to 2.5 billion users that Facebook has, but the upswing potential is leaning our way right now. And Elon Musk just left Facebook here just this last week. He pulled Tesla Motors and also SpaceX away from it. So that was huge. He deleted. I mean, these are people that are the forefront of technologies that they see where things are evolving, and that's where I pride myself being, because you only need to be ahead of it's important to be at the head of the forefront on a wave, right? Sure. Okay, to get in the tube right there and just get a great ride out of life, right?
And you did it. You hosted a great event. We had a breakfast up here at Studio 110.live's headquarters here, where we broadcast the show from, and you invited one of your partners to come and speak, and I'll never forget it. And I'd like you to touch on it, and I'll kind of remind you of that story. But you gave him the platform. You introduced him. Very, very. You did an amazing job. Getting everybody in the platform aligned, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about my new show at the event. Sure. But ultimately, what I'm getting to is he talked about this gal. Like you, he's built up a mega platform like you have, Ryan. But specifically, he talked about a gal, and she was, I don't know if you remember this, but maybe you'll remember as I chat about it. She was an Uber driver, right? And she was an Uber driver, and she was struggling to make ends meet. And he, like you, he's one of your partners outside of the state. But he turned her into a business where I think he did say she's making $5,000 a day.
Yeah. So there's a lot of money to be made in cryptocurrency nowadays. We mine Bitcoin, and we've done that for a long time now. This is a massive trend, and we get paid in Bitcoin. We earn Bitcoin, and a lot of lives have been changed by this. And obviously, Bitcoin, the mining is going to go on to the year 2140. That's how the white paper is written, which is kind of like the blueprint building house. This is the white paper for the cryptocurrency of Bitcoin, and so we have a mining company that does that right there, called BitClub Network, and it has just it's gotten humongous. We've got 500,000 miners now all around the world that partake in us.
Wow,
and
huge. Yeah,
it's funny, as I love prospecting Uber drivers every time I'm with them, because they always complain about their back hurting if you ask them. I always say this in life though: if not this, then what? Right. If not this, then what? And I think innovators, people that the forefront of the evolution of technologies and where we're going as a human race. This leads us to the next biggest thing, so we can keep making life simple, because technology is supposed to make life easier. Bitcoin is supposed to bring back the value of money, where the dollar is only worth 3% of what it once was. Right. Social media, if it could pay the people, why not? Instead of Mark Zuckerberg making $25 billion a year. So with our company at FutureNet, we're paying back 90% of that money back to the people. And like I said, we've got 2.5 billion users, and we are growing. Also, George Soros just recently said that Facebook is coming to an end. And not that I'm a fan of George Soros at all, but I think the writing is definitely on the wall. And these are some big things that are not going to go away. It's only you're going to see more people that are going to be leaving Facebook.
Absolutely.
There,
and because they're listening to Mr. Conley here. And I don't want to give all the cats out of the bag, because Ryan's going to continue to be a guest where he has the time to come in on the show. But just what's remarkable to me, Ryan, is not only on everything that you're continuing to build up on the FutureNet platform, where pays people in Bitcoin. Everybody's on Facebook. Who doesn't want to make extra on the side with what the platform that you put out there on a larger pedestal. But just other things that I'm looking forward to talking about maybe next time you come in is for example, you work with a doctor on stem cell research, and I know you're working with her to develop something on the stem cell that we'll talk about in the future. But you're really thinking about people's really inner core needs, and you're not you've got such a large platform that you divided it up properly from the medical side to the FutureNet to the whole FutureNet opportunities through Bitcoin and through Facebook, and then on the future music, like what we talked about, just how we're in the process here at Studio 110's headquarters to change the music game. A lot of these artists, like Ryan, when they sign these record deals, the labels take so much of a percentage where the artist really isn't left with anything.
Yes.
So you're I don't know if you want to touch on that a little bit, Ryan.
I would really love to, because I had the chance to talk to a new person in the music industry earlier on today.
Oh, great.
That was out of Arizona.
Great.
And I told him about the concept of where this is at. It's like, oh my gosh, it just makes so much sense what you guys are doing. So again, if not this, then what?
Right.
Where is the future of music going? And if there's a better way to reward the smaller people, especially because there's plenty of smaller musicians out there, and what my experience, have been alive for 41 years now, and in watching my friends that were in the music industry, I've seen so many of them even get into, they get depressed, they get into drugs and stuff like this or whatever. Their life goes downhill because they give up on their dreams of being a musician. And I truly believe that when it comes to artistic capabilities and just us having, each and of us having our own unique abilities in life, when we're under pressure or, we can't make ends meet for our families, especially, or anything like that, not something to laugh about. I mean, but that's a reality of, I would say, 99.9% of most of the world, unfortunately, out there nowadays, right? The 1% who are not. But my point is that I think that when we're under stress, obviously, not that I think I know, it takes away our ability to become the best artist or the best musician, the best dancer, or whatever. That takes away from our ability to be creative, which we are creators as humans, right?
And we have a lot of artists listening right now that are listening right now, locally and nationally, that'll be coming in to join the show. We have actually 2 artists coming in tomorrow. Right. The Height Shoulder and Jason and Jamal will be coming in tomorrow. They might be doing a live performance if they can come in. And then we also have a guitar player. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. Erica, who manages my calendar, knows his name. But just because we don't have the opportunity, Ryan, to have you in on every day's show. Just what would be kind of the more illustrative thought process that you would give to these artists, just in terms of what you're seeing, and ultimately, on the future music side, on that platform that you're continuing to build here with the team here at Studio 110.live, what would be those recommendations?
Well, first of all, I want to invite all you musicians out there to take a serious look at this, because honestly, we're not asking for anything from anyone about this, but I truly believe that when you see this concept out there, it's going to be something that resonates with you, and you will see it bigger than, iTunes. You will see this bigger than Ticketmaster. You will see this bigger than Spotify. You will see this bigger than MySpace, which, and all these things combined, and what it means for you artists out there, and also your followings and their friends and their followings and stuff like this. So it's going to have a viral effect to it. But really what it comes down to monetization, the concept of monetization. And this is really missing in the space, and the artists are getting pimped by the record labels and these other big corporations. Again, just like Facebook, Live Nations takes the cut. You're not getting a piece of the pie just for telling your friends on Facebook, hey, I'm going to the Van Halen concert or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So the whole idea is, there's a lot of musicians that really exploded and got, like, I remember Pearl Jam back in the day being on MySpace, flashback right there, okay? And so just imagine that these people, or these bands, just go ahead and put a simple thing on their Facebook wall. Hey, get paid in Bitcoin to follow me on this new social media platform, first of all. Okay. So with how FutureNet works, their fans would monetize underneath them. Now their fans are getting paid in Bitcoin just for using it as a free member on a daily basis.
Huge.
Okay? So chances are that more than 100,000 people joined you on Facebook, which means you told 3 people, they told 3 people, and this went down 10 levels deep. Boom, you're at 100,000 people roughly right there.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And in FutureNet, that's how this works. But just imagine, like, if you told someone about this, and they told someone about this, and that person told Pearl Jam. We'll use that in the case again right here. Okay.
Yep.
Well, Pearl Jam's out nowadays.
Or like Sir Mix-a-Lot when he comes back in the studio. He'll be back in the studio.
Shout out. It was really good meeting you the other day. Yeah.
He'll be coming back in the studio when he gets back from his 47 city tour. But what you're creating and what you're talking about here, Ryan, is like, could be extremely beneficial to a level artist like a Sir Mix-a-Lot or an up and coming.
I spoke to Young Jock the other day, and he was like, wow, G-Eazy's called in a few times to talk to me. I've missed every one of his phone calls, unfortunately.
But you're good about getting back to people.
definitely.
time
Most
accordance.
definitely. And,
Yeah.
you know, Luke Skywalker from
Yeah.
Two Live Crew,
Yep.
spoke to him a few times last week. So musicians are getting it, and no one's told me, you know, that's a bunk idea or anything like that. So again, back to the imagine your friend tells your friend, and they sent Pearl Jam, and get back to this case.
Yeah.
And when we have this future music app, so it'd be like Spotify.
Yep.
But let's say that it'd be like Spotify, iTunes,
Yep.
Ticketmaster, all in one thing right there.
Okay.
So you get the streamline the music and stuff. But when these people sell songs just like they do on iTunes, or they sell an album, for example, imagine the artist takes 50%. So let's say a song's a $1 and the artist takes 50 cents there right there.
Yep.
But then what would happen is on those levels, 10 levels deep in the compensation plan, that is divvied among the other 50 cents is broken up right there. And even though it's just pennies or a nickel or a dime, you know, per thing, for example, in that instance. So let's take a concert ticket. Let's take a Pearl Jam concert ticket.
$47 ticket, for example.
Boom, boom. Artist takes $23.50 of that, right there.
Okay.
The other $23.50 gets spread out 10 levels deep. And you're obviously, when you go in a concert, you're telling your friends about it,
Sure,
right?
sure,
Okay,
sure.
Hey, you want to go? Blah blah blah.
Everybody's
So-
on Instagram, Facebook. They're taking pictures of their seats, the stage, everything.
Yeah, so the word gets out there fast. So just imagine that $23.50 is broken up 10 levels deep. So when you log into your FutureNet, you're like, wow, you know, I made $20 yesterday because my some friends bought Pearl Jam tickets. Oh, they must be on tour right now. Let me check. And so then what you do is you basically have like almost, I hate to use the term retweet, but just so you guys know what that is, simply just sharing thing.
Sure.
And that basically gave your stamp approval of that band. You go ahead and put that on your wall, your social media wall. And it's like, you know, check out this. They're on tour. I'm getting a ticket, you know, join me. And so when those people go ahead and click on that and they buy the tickets, and this money is you're influencing socially all your friends to buy the music or the music tickets, which then goes back up to you know, now next time you log in, you're like, dang, I've made 80 something or 90, $100 off. I'm going to go ahead and definitely buy that person's CD. I'm going to go ahead and buy a t-shirt through there. You can
Some
sell
merchandise, some
memorabilia.
ringtones.
I'm going to do all that. And because you're just giving back to the artist.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter how big they are. So, I mean, you guys, we're open to suggestions, and we have, for those of you that want to see the PowerPoint presentation, we have this. It was created by our developer Aaron here, and we've worked hard on this concept. But if you look at what happened, I'll make this real quick. Referring back how the music industry evolved, it went from Napster, where people started pirating people's music.
Sure.
Okay. People don't buy a lot of music online, but if you were getting paid by the artist and your friends doing different things like this, concert tickets and stuff, of course you're going to give back. There's a better chance that you're going to recontribute that money back to society right there, right?
Yeah, sure.
The arts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited about this. I really am passionate about this. But okay, so we had Napster happen, but at the same time we had MySpace, which got music out there massive. Now so social media had a really big role when it came to music, and they had all this stuff. Remember, they had the songs you could play and all this stuff.
Sure.
So, but when we went to Facebook, it went to more of a white screen. It went bland and simplified in a way. You didn't have the music organization so much as you did on Facebook, like the little graphic equalizer and stuff going on, right, and all that stuff. So. If we bring the money back to the people and stuff, I just think that this is going to be a completely
game changer.
And it's not even necessarily about the money. It's about reinventing the system.
Because it needs
in a way,
it.
It needs a revamp.
The kitchen needs to be remodeled.
Yes, it makes. And I'm not saying this is the end game. It needs to continue to evolve. And people have been stolen from. The people that use Facebook have been stolen from.
Yep.
People are dying around the world of hunger. If they just made a buck or two in Bitcoin every day from being social media, you're talking about people eating, something better than top ramen, in third world countries.
Exactly.
So this is where my heart's at, and I know how much crypto's changed my life. So this is what my passion's about.
It's an honor, Ryan, to have you in on the show today. I've been wanting you to stop by the last 2 weeks, but I know you've been busy out of the country. But you're back now, and hopefully you'll have an opportunity to come in. I have a couple more questions I want to ask. And before I ask a couple questions, is Ryan does these really nice catered top level events here at Studio 110's headquarters where I broadcast my show from Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time out here on the West Coast. But I just see people's faces. I see people's faces kind of when they walk in, and I see people's faces when they walk out, and it's a game changer. People don't have these types of opportunities to be able to be aligned and accustomed. And I think another prime example, very similar to you, Ryan, is I had Tracy Eden, who actually lives in the building here where we broadcast from,
right,
and his wife Kimberly, and they're in a very similar business to you are. And it's almost, just the success ratio, but the direct testimonials that they've been able to, like when they talk to people, how their lives were this way and now their lives are this way. So like someone like yourself, like when you go to sleep at night and you wake up in the morning, like you really are helping people. And that's what I love to do. Like being a radio host, like I like, the followers and listeners to be able to reach out to me to ask me, dating advice or, whatever it is. Because a lot of people, they don't have families or they don't have really friends. So, they can think of people like us to open up and talk to you. So, leading off, Ryan, who are some people, who are some of your role models that you've always looked up to, either on a personal level or just on your day-to-day business operational level that you look up to, that you credit a lot of your success to?
Well, Elon Musk is definitely one of them. I'd say one of the greatest and stuff. Lost trust in Richard Branson when he said something about George Soros. Not to get political at all, but just people in the crypto space. I mean the stem, not just the stem cell science, but I'm big into the anti-agings, the gene therapies and stuff like this. And I truly believe these people that want to, like you said, you are here because you like uplifting people. You really like that, and you're really good at just like you're doing now. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
And we're going to take this video and it's going to be on YouTube. And so I appreciate it. So, just the people that are in this world to leave a legacy, the people that are not just chasing a paycheck, they're part of something. The money will come, if you help people. There's no question about that.
You'll always be rewarded.
You will be rewarded. And just with how broken the system has been, I think there's just that we're heading into a direction right now where it's going to be a lot easier for us for the normal person to achieve this. You only need the right vehicle. So it's about the concepts, and it's about the people that see these concepts and that want to change the people, whether it's ending Alzheimer's and dementia. This is something that I'm very passionate about right now. And I truly believe that the money that is coming from cryptocurrency is going to massively inject. And I want to talk about this for a second.
Please do, because it affects a lot of people. And seriously, it affects a lot of people, and a lot of people don't really have the proper outlets. It's a suffering situation for a lot of family members who see other family members, going through this, and they don't really know how to deal with it. So if you wouldn't mind,
that's the hard thing right there. Is that when it affects a person that has something like that, you're right. It is the family members, and that's a ripple effect because then it's their friends, and they're talking a bit and complaining about So it's the issues like that. It's a really big issue. We don't like to see people hurt by nature as humans. Right. So where I'm going with this is that if you look at how much money is going into cryptocurrency right now, okay, and you look at, like, for example, Telegram just did an ICO and it was over $300 billion that was excuse me, my apologies. It was $300 million, for example, or whatever it was initially. Okay, but I think
it's a big number.
It was 300 million, and I think it did hit over $1 billion. I'm not sure, but you can quote me on the 300 million at least.
I'm sure it did. So
Now, when you look at the anti-aging sciences, and that was almost overnight, basically. First of all, that went up to that. Okay, but when you look at these anti-aging sciences, like the telomere sciences out there, these key sciences, the gene therapies out there, and stuff like this, and there's these companies have only raised like $30 million a piece or something like this. In the ICOs, which stands for initial coin offerings of these cryptocurrencies, they're sitting here raising like 30 million is a drop in the bucket. That's nothing compared. And you're looking, health is going to be the first wealth. It should always be the first wealth. And we will eventually drain our pockets trying to improve our health as we get older in life, right? I mean, I find myself doing that at 41 right now, so a little bit. So my point is that we're going to see, I'm just making a prediction here, and this is what's going to happen. Okay.
Usually your predictions are on point. So
because I just stay focused on it. There is going to be people at the forefront like Vitalik that produce Ethereum, for example. It's a smart contract cryptocurrency. He just put in $1.5 million into some anti-aging thing. We're on the verge of, I believe, truly slowing down aging and getting to the point where we can potentially reverse aging on so many levels involving the telomeres and gene sciences. This is a reality. It's funny that I've learned this last week alone. Aging is a disease. Okay. And we can go ahead and put a name and say, oh, that's Alzheimer's, that's dementia. But these are just like basically broad
cover-ups, label.
It's just a word, right? What the heck is really going on when it comes to. So my point is that aging is the biggest disease, and the FDA doesn't consider aging a disease. Okay, they don't consider.
Why do you think that?
just because there's obviously they're making money on different, the pharmaceuticals cartel, as we call it. Anyways, my point is I think there's going to be a massive breakthrough where the more of this money as cryptocurrency goes, we're only at 1% of the users, right now, but as cryptocurrency goes to 5 to 10% of the world using cryptocurrency. And this is why I feel that we have an obligation, a moral obligation to use cryptocurrency, because the values go up off of supply and demand, basic economics.
Yep.
More money will flow back to the people, where people will donate more money into these sciences to help end aging and potentially reverse it. So I just encourage you guys all to take part in cryptocurrency. If anything that I'm talking about sounds of interest to you, please message me. You can.
Do you feel comfortable putting out is that okay for people to contact you, or do you want them to contact your team?
No, I appreciate that. Okay. You can just text me at 206-396-9778.
Okay. That was 206-396-9778. 9778. And Ryan, this is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Most people would never give it out their personal contact numbers, but Ryan is the type of guy, you can see the type of humble human being and how he cares about people, for him to give out a number for you to text him. I mean, that really shows the power of the brand that you've built up for yourself, and that you're continuing to build up for FutureNet and stem cell and dementia and just, I mean, it's a huge list that continues to go on. And
sure.
With your busy, hectic schedule, Ryan, and you're in meetings all day, and you're doing a lot right now on your plate, like, when you're just kind of sitting back on your off time, like, what makes you happy as a businessman who's massively successful, who continues to be more successful every day? Like, what would be that recommendation to an up and coming, someone that's trying to get to your level? Like,
this is interesting. I was actually thinking about this when I was at Whole Foods having lunch today. Okay, the thought that in so many words crossed my mind was, what do I need to achieve in life to feel like I had a satisfied life? Okay. And it came down to, obviously financially taking care of my children.
Sure.
Everyone deserves to, but I want to create a legacy, obviously.
Sure.
I think the evolution of ideas is going to be a lot simple to be part of down the road. The whole idea that corporations and stuff, that you have to apply for a job and get this. No, it's more of a collection consciousness where people are not. So I see this evolving here, but.
What makes you happy, though? Like, what gets you excited?
Yeah, what makes me happy is I've been traveling a lot, obviously, to watch my children have experiences in life and live vicariously through them at this point.
Sure.
Is amazing.
Can we say where you just were, or do we need to keep that off?
I mean, that's fine. We went on a cruise, and my dad's 75th anniversary, his birthday and stuff. And so we're on a cruise and had a family reunion with my small little family. And
very nice.
And just, for us all experience that together. So that's what makes me happy.
That would make anybody happy, to be able to, give back to the family. Because like you just said a few minutes ago, Ryan, I mean, there's very few people that can do that. I mean, that's the fact of the matter. There's very few people that can do that.
They want to, but do they?
Right.
And more people should be able to do what they want to do.
Are there any events coming up that we can invite people to come down and see one of your presentations from you?
Definitely. We're going to have some Bitcoin mining opportunities about every other week. Is what we're going to be doing. And we also are going to be sponsoring a comedy show we're getting ready to do with Bill Bellamy.
I spoke to one of the other guys here at Studio 110.live, and he said maybe this week I'll be able to. I told him I want everybody to get on there, so that's okay. I want everybody. Hey, this is live radio. That's what we do. It's live radio. But I said I want everybody to position it on their social. To listen to Dirty Harry's brand new show at Studio110.live to make the major announcement. Because this is a big announcement. This is going to, everybody comes out to comedy shows. Comedy shows always do well with the right platform, with the right logistics into place. So I'm excited that just like when I launched, Summer Jam, I gave the rundown. I told all the artists that were coming. So I'm excited to, have these comedians call in, and I'll be able to interview them, and they'll be able to tell everybody about the show. So going back to,
and that's what's cool about this also is we're doing these events differently. As we give them this new social media presence and help people become aware of this. So there's a real mission driven thing behind what we're doing right now.
Absolutely. Anything else? Any shout outs you want to give today?
Shout outs to Jeezy.
Jeezy, okay.
I looking forward to talking to you and having you really find out what we're doing more exactly.
I'm looking forward to having him on the show too. So
most definitely,
that'll be great.
So,
and You've got a great family, Ryan, and I can't thank you enough in all seriousness for stopping by today. I hope, like I said, hopefully you can come in maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, and give updates. And the only thing that I ask of you is anytime you're in the future that you're ready to make like a large scale announcement, like I tell my artist guests and my other guests that have come in. We've made a lot of announcements on this show where people have positioned their social to come back to listen to the announcement. So if there's upcoming announcements, like in addition to the Comedy Jam, I'd love you to have the team, promote that, you'll be coming in to make that announcement. So so the world could see it.
Yeah, we got some great interview people that now my wheels are turning of who I want to get on the board with you to do an interview with and stuff.
I'd like to really do those. I'd really like to do this.
Especially involving the anti-aging, the things that we're talking about right now. So
let's definitely do that. But like I said, I didn't want to give all the secrets out today. There's a lot more.
That's right.
Next time you come in, maybe we'll be able to talk a little bit more about the stem cell side of what you're doing, the anti-aging, and then do you want to give before we wrap up today? Do you want to give anybody else the proper ingredients out there listening in terms of signing up to be able to develop a pattern like you have?
I just want to encourage everyone out there. It's easy to go ahead and make a living out there. I mean, it's not, but I think mentally, people are committed to. So we see the people driving down 405 in the traffic, and I really think that we need to put our minds towards how can we affect the most amount of people out there. And this comes down to, I truly believe, cryptocurrency.
Yep.
Checking out the social media platform. Why don't we give them your link right now, Harris?
DH93 at...
DH93.futurenet.club. www.dh93.futurenet.club.
So you heard Ryan say it, and maybe we'll be able to create a video. I'm doing kind of these after show videos that we do here on the after show patio. So anybody that missed the important content, if they're, because we get people tuning in all the time, they'll be able to see it. So we'll get Erica here to get that posted up on the show's Instagram. Thank you again, Ryan. Anything else? I don't want to forget anything before the next visit. Anything else you want to say?
Keep changing lives.
Keep changing lives. That's the business that you're in. And he gave out his personal cell phone number. You know what? We're not going to give it out again because you know what? If you missed it, then that's your fault.
Then you're meant to.
Then you know what? Then that's your fault. So you'll have to wait till Ryan comes in next time to hear the amazing presentations that he's working on now and he's continuing to work on. We got a lot of big things happening here at Studio 110.live, my brand new live podcast show, Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time. Eventually it'll go 1 to 4, 1 to 5, but wanted to keep it within a 2-hour kind of a segment window right now. And I wanted to kind of finish it up with this, Ryan. If I don't know what your schedule is tomorrow, you're probably busy, but we have Okara Banks. She's been listening to me. I met her in Los Angeles on a recent trip. She's a large fashion stylist who works with Jamie Foxx and Tiffany Haddish and Bill Bellamy and Will Smith. She's been fascinated by my new show that I've been launching, Ryan, and she's taken it upon herself to leave Los Angeles, get on an airplane tonight, and she'll be with us Thursday and Friday here in the studio. So if you happen to be around the headquarters here,
that's tomorrow at 1.
She'll be here in the studio tomorrow and Friday. And then also we have the High Children coming in tomorrow too, Jason and Jamal.
Well, I will be here tomorrow. At that time.
If you can fit it in your busy schedule, it'd be great to have you in. And I'd like you to meet Okara. She's flying up. I mean, it just shows you how big the show's getting. We're not even. It's been 2 weeks, and we have people flying up to join the show now. So
we're making a social media presence, and you can tune in the radio and not understand even what you're walking into, and hearing radio producers out there talk about just a bunch of gibberish and small talk out there, or you can go to our YouTube channel and actually see the topics that we're talking about, the people that we're interviewing,
because we're going to
something that you want to not waste your time, but spend your time watching instead of wasting your time on traditional radio where you have a video feed like this, right?
Because Ryan just said earlier, he's got a lot of guests that he's going to be bringing into the show with me, and you'll do some co-hosting with me.
I love it.
And we got Aaron on the tech side. He's got the father of the Xbox coming in. So I mean, this is a massive show in the works. I mean, we're approaching 1,000 followers on Instagram.
I mean, I think we should get Bill Gates locally.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. Let's do it. I mean, if anybody has a contact, I'm sure maybe you or one of your guys here, Ryan, with Erica here, the show producer, can make that happen. But I'll look forward to signing back on again. My brand new show, Dirty Harry, Studio 110.live. Thank you again to my special guest, Ryan. He'll continue to be a special guest on the show. And if you missed what he said today, we'll create a video. You'll be able to watch that. And if you're lucky enough, Ryan will invite you because you have to have a personal invite to be able to come down here to our headquarters to one of your
Gotta
events
check
that
it
you
out.
do.
Yep. You're welcome. So thank you again, buddy.
Thank you again, Ryan, and I'll see you tomorrow, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time, Studio 110.live. Have a good night, y'all.